You've heard this cliché 1,000 times already. Men love women who make them feel needed. It sounds cute, it sounds romantic, it even sounds logical on the surface, but it's actually wrong, completely wrong. Because the real truth is this: the woman who does not need him at all is the woman he cannot stop thinking about. Not the one begging for his time, not the one constantly asking for reassurance, not the one who is always available no matter what, not the one sending long emotional messages asking where this is going. It's the woman who stays calm, the woman who remains grounded, the woman who is detached without being cold, the woman who is unbothered when things feel uncertain. She doesn't panic when he pulls back. She doesn't chase when the energy shifts, and somehow, without trying, she burrows into his mind like a song he can't turn off. So, why does this happen? Why do men fall so deeply for the woman who refuses to play the emotional victim? Why does independence hit a man's psychology harder than affection ever could? Why does calm confidence create more attachment than emotional intensity? This is what I call the reverse sympathy trap, and once you truly understand it, everything about attraction starts to make sense, because the strongest emotional grip is not built on need, it's not built on begging, it's not built on proving your worth, it's built on mystery. Imagine this for a moment. A man meets two women in the same week. The first woman, let's call her Laya, is kind and sweet. She laughs at his jokes. She replies to his messages within seconds. She asks him if he has eaten, if he got home safely, if he's okay. She gives him warmth, comfort, attention, and validation. Being with her feels nice, safe, predictable, like sinking into a warm bath at the end of a long day. There is nothing wrong with her. She's doing everything she thinks she should do to build connection. Then there is the second woman. Let's call her Ava. Ava is different. She listens when he speaks, but she doesn't chase the conversation. She's polite and kind, but not eager. She enjoys his company, but she doesn't center her world around him. When he cancels plans, she doesn't guilt him. She doesn't ask for explanations. She doesn't take it personally. She simply says, "Okay, no problem. I'll make other plans." And suddenly, his brain does something strange, something irrational, something he doesn't expect. He starts thinking about her, not because she gave him more attention, not because she tried harder, but because she gave him less. He starts wondering what she's doing, who she's with, whether she even thinks about him at all. He starts questioning his own importance in her life. And slowly, quietly, without realizing it, he starts falling. Not for her affection, but for her indifference. That is the reverse sympathy trap. She never begs for his love, and that is exactly why he starts offering it freely. Here's what's really happening under the surface. Men are biologically wired to protect, fix, and rescue. This instinct is deeply rooted in the masculine ego. For centuries, being useful meant being valuable. Being needed meant having purpose. But modern dating has twisted this instinct into a psychological trap. When a woman appears needy, desperate, or emotionally dependent, his brain doesn't register romance. It registers responsibility. He doesn't feel desire. He feels pressure. He doesn't feel excitement. He feels obligation, and obligation kills attraction. When a woman leans too hard emotionally, he doesn't think, "I want her." He thinks, "I'm responsible for her feelings." And responsibility creates sympathy, not passion. Sympathy feels heavy. Sympathy feels draining. Sympathy feels like work. Attraction, on the other hand, feels light. It feels curious. It feels energizing. This is why men pull away from women who give too much too soon, not because those women are unlovable, but because their emotional energy triggers duty instead of desire. The woman who doesn't need him sends a completely different signal. She isn't asking him to save her. She isn't asking him to fix her life. She isn't asking him to fill a void. Her emotional stability tells his brain, I choose you, but I don't require you. And that distinction is powerful, because choice feels flattering, need feels suffocating. Mystery activates a man's imagination, and imagination is where attachment grows. When he doesn't fully understand where he stands, his mind fills in the gaps. He starts replaying conversations. He starts looking for signs. He starts investing mentally. And mental investment is the seed of emotional attachment. The calm woman doesn't chase clarity. She doesn't demand certainty. She trusts herself enough to walk away if it doesn't work out. And that self-trust is what pulls him in. Because confidence without arrogance is magnetic. It tells him she has options. It tells him she has a life. It tells him that being with her is a privilege, not a guarantee. This is why emotional restraint often feels more attractive than emotional overflow. It's not about playing games. It's not about being cold or manipulative. It's about not abandoning yourself to secure someone else. When a woman remains centered in her own life, her own purpose, her own peace, she becomes unpredictable in the best way, and unpredictability keeps interest alive. The reverse sympathy trap works because it flips the usual dynamic. Instead of him being the emotional anchor, she becomes one. Instead of her chasing reassurance, he starts seeking it. Instead of her wondering where she stands, he begins questioning his place in her world. And once that shift happens, the emotional balance changes completely. Men don't fall in love with emotional dependency. They fall in love with emotional presence, with someone who is there but not clinging, with someone who cares but doesn't collapse without them, with someone who can walk away without drama. That quiet strength speaks louder than any emotional confession ever could. In the end, the woman who doesn't need him isn't distant. She's complete. And completeness is what makes her unforgettable. And sympathy is a short-term emotion. It never lasts. It burns fast and disappears the moment the guilt phase ends. Once the pressure fades, so does the emotional pull. Sympathy does not create desire. It creates obligation, and obligation always has an expiration date. Now flip the situation completely. When a woman appears self-contained, emotionally steady, and calm in her reactions, his brain reads something very different. It doesn't read need, it reads mystery. And mystery is far more powerful than sympathy ever could be. He starts asking himself questions without even realizing it. How is she okay without me? Why isn't she reacting the way others do? Why doesn't she need reassurance? Why isn't she chasing clarity? That single question becomes a mental hook. It stays with him. Because men are not addicted to affection the way people assume. They are addicted to uncertainty. Uncertainty keeps the mind engaged. It keeps the imagination working. And the reverse sympathy trap works because it rewires his natural instincts in a quiet but effective way. Instead of feeling like her savior, he starts feeling like her student. Instead of pity, he feels curiosity. Instead of comfort, he feels challenge. And challenge is the oxygen of male desire. Without challenge, interest slowly suffocates. With challenge, attention sharpens. His focus increases. His effort rises. And he starts leaning in emotionally without being asked. Every man secretly craves a mission. Not an easy one, not a guaranteed win, a real challenge. This is why men get addicted to video games, business goals, competition, and growth. These systems are built on tension, the space between almost winning and not yet. That tension keeps him engaged. It gives him purpose. It makes him feel alive. Now bring that same psychology into relationships. The woman who plays the sympathy card kills that tension immediately. He already has her attention. He already knows she's invested. He already feels secure in her interest. There is nothing left to earn, no mystery left to solve, no mission left to pursue. And when the tension dies, desire slowly fades with it. But the woman who isn't easily impressed, who doesn't laugh too hard at every joke, who doesn't rearrange her life around his schedule, who listens calmly, smiles lightly, says maybe, and then walks away, she creates the challenge loop. She leaves space, and space is where desire grows. He feels a gap, and his ego wants to close it. He wants to understand her. He wants to impress her. He wants to matter to her. So he starts trying harder. He texts with more intention. He thinks more carefully about what he says. He shows up differently. He invests more energy. And the interesting part is this: he calls it chemistry. He tells himself it's a spark, a connection, something special. But it's not chemistry. It's competition disguised as desire. His ego is activated, and his emotions follow. This is why the reverse sympathy trap works like emotional jiu-jitsu. She doesn't overpower him. She doesn't demand. She doesn't chase. She simply stays grounded in herself, and that calm strength turns his own masculine programming inward. The harder he works to earn something that isn't freely handed to him, the more valuable it feels. Effort creates attachment. Investment creates emotion. And once he invests, pulling away becomes difficult. The deeper he invests, the stronger the bond becomes. Not because she asked for it, but because he chose it. And choice always feels more meaningful than obligation. This is how attachment quietly forms without pressure, without force, without emotional chaos. There is another layer to this, and it's one most men will never openly admit. Men do not fall in love first. They fall into respect first. Love comes later. A man cannot feel deep romantic attachment for someone he does not admire. And admiration is not born from constant closeness. It is born from distance, from observing strength, from seeing someone stand on their own feet. When a woman shows that she has standards, boundaries, and emotional control, his respect for her grows. He sees her as someone solid, someone composed, someone who doesn't collapse under uncertainty. And that respect becomes the foundation for attraction. Without respect, affection fades quickly. With respect, attraction deepens over time. Distance gives him space to notice her value. Silence gives him room to feel her absence. And absence sharpens desire far more than constant presence ever could. This is not about being cold or distant. It's about being whole, being complete within yourself. When a woman doesn't chase love, love has room to chase her. And sympathy is always a short-term emotion. It fades quickly. It burns out the moment the guilt phase passes. Once the feeling of obligation disappears, so does the attachment. Now flip the situation completely. When a woman appears self-contained, emotionally steady, and non-reactive, his brain detects something very different: mystery. He starts asking himself questions he can't easily answer. How is she okay without me? Why doesn't she need what I'm offering? That single question becomes a mental hook, because men are not addicted to affection the way people assume. They are addicted to uncertainty. The unknown pulls them in deeper than reassurance ever could. The reverse sympathy trap works because it quietly rewires his instincts. Instead of feeling like her savior, he begins to feel like her student. Instead of feeling pity, he feels curiosity. Instead of comfort, he feels challenge. And curiosity is the oxygen of male desire. Without it, attraction suffocates. Every man secretly craves a mission, not an easy one, not a guaranteed win, a challenge. This is why video games, business goals, and competition keep men hooked for years. They are built on tension, on progress, on the space between almost winning and not yet. That tension keeps the brain engaged. In relationships, the woman who plays the sympathy card destroys that tension instantly. He already feels he has her. He already feels chosen. There is no challenge left, no mission to pursue. The emotional game ends before it begins. But the woman who isn't impressed by his jokes, who doesn't rearrange her entire schedule for him, who smiles, says maybe, and walks away, she creates the challenge loop. She leaves a gap, and his ego wants to close that gap. He starts trying harder. He starts saying more. He starts doing more. He feels pulled forward, and the wild part is this. He calls it chemistry, but it's not chemistry. It's competition disguised as desire. That's why the reverse sympathy trap works like emotional jiu-jitsu. She doesn't fight his nature. She redirects it. She uses his own masculine programming against him without effort. The harder he works to earn what isn't easily given, the deeper he invests. And the deeper he invests, the stronger his attachment becomes. Here's another layer most people miss. Men don't fall in love first. They fall into respect first. This is something men rarely admit out loud. A man cannot feel deep romantic attachment towards someone he doesn't admire, and admiration doesn't grow from closeness alone. It grows from distance, from observing, from feeling slightly outmatched. When a woman's world doesn't revolve around him, when she has direction, standards, and clear boundaries, he subconsciously labels her as rare. He doesn't think, she needs me. He thinks, I need to step up to deserve her. And once again, the reverse sympathy trap activates. She doesn't chase his validation. She silently causes him to chase hers. Respect comes before love, and love built on respect doesn't fade easily, because now every compliment she gives feels earned, every moment she shares feels granted, nothing feels automatic, and men don't value what is freely handed to them. They value what they have to work for, what they have to rise to meet. Then comes the emotional reversal. When a man meets a woman who radiates independence, something unfamiliar happens in his subconscious. He experiences what many women feel around confident men, a loss of control. He feels slightly off balance, and instinctively he tries to regain emotional equilibrium. He wants to win back the feeling of power, but here's the catch. The more he tries to impress her, the less power he feels. Because she doesn't flinch, she doesn't overreact. She isn't dazzled by effort alone. She's impressed by authenticity, by consistency, by depth. So slowly, without realizing it, he starts lowering his defenses. He shows real emotion. He opens up. He tries to connect on a deeper level. And this is the twist. The woman who started with less need ends up receiving more depth. That is the final turn of the reverse sympathy trap, the shift from external validation to internal vulnerability. He is no longer trying to fix her, he is trying to understand her, and understanding is the root of emotional intimacy. At first he believes he is the chooser. He thinks he holds the power, but when she doesn't chase, the dynamic flips. Now he's the one performing. He texts more, he jokes more, he explains himself, he tries harder, and she remains calm, present, interested but not desperate, warm but not chasing. That balance disrupts his logic. It confuses him in the best way, because attraction was never about who cares more. It was always about who can remain whole without losing themselves. And the woman who doesn't need him doesn't push him away. She pulls him in, slowly, quietly, and far deeper than need ever could. And sympathy is a short-term emotion. It fades quickly. It burns out the moment the guilt phase ends and the obligation feels heavy. Sympathy cannot survive long-term desire. Now flip the dynamic. When a woman appears self-contained, emotionally grounded, and non-reactive, his brain senses something entirely different. Mystery. He starts asking himself questions without even realizing it. How is she okay without me? Why doesn't she need reassurance? Why isn't she chasing? That single question becomes a mental hook. Because men are not addicted to affection the way people assume. They are addicted to uncertainty. The reverse sympathy trap works because it rewires his instincts at a deep level. Instead of feeling like her savior, he starts feeling like her student. Instead of pity, he feels curiosity. Instead of comfort, he feels challenge. And curiosity is the oxygen of male desire. Every man secretly craves a mission. Not an easy one, not a guaranteed win, a challenge. That's why video games, business goals, and competition keep men mentally locked in for years. They are built on tension, the space between almost winning and not yet succeeding. That tension creates focus and obsession. In relationships, the woman who plays the sympathy card destroys that tension instantly. He already has her attention. He already knows she's invested. There's nothing left to earn. The game is over before it even begins. But the woman who isn't impressed by his jokes, who doesn't rearrange her life around his schedule, who smiles, says maybe, and then walks away, she creates the challenge loop. He feels a gap inside his ego, and his mind wants to close it. He starts trying harder. He talks more, he thinks more, he does more. And the wild part is this: he calls it chemistry, but it's not chemistry. It's competition disguised as desire. That's why the reverse sympathy trap works like emotional jiu-jitsu. She doesn't fight his instincts, she redirects them. She uses his own masculine programming against him without ever saying a word. The harder he works to earn something that isn't easily given, the deeper he invests emotionally. And the deeper he invests, the stronger his attachment becomes. Here's another truth men rarely say out loud. They don't fall in love first. They fall into respect first. A man cannot feel real romantic attachment for someone he doesn't admire, and admiration is not born from closeness or availability. It's born from distance, self-control, and boundaries. When a woman's world does not revolve around him, when she has direction, standards, and a life that existed before he arrived, his subconscious labels her as rare. He doesn't think, "She needs me." He thinks, "I need to level up to deserve her." That's the reverse sympathy trap activating again. She isn't asking for validation. She's forcing him to seek it. Respect comes before love, and love built on respect doesn't disappear easily, because now every compliment she gives feels earned. Every moment she shares feels granted, not guaranteed. And men value what they have to earn far more than what is handed to them freely. Then comes the emotional reversal. When a man meets a woman who radiates independence, something uncomfortable happens inside his subconscious. He feels what women often feel around confident men, a loss of control. He starts chasing emotional balance, trying to win back a sense of power. But here's the twist. The more he tries to impress her, the less power he feels, because she doesn't react the way he expects. She doesn't flinch. She isn't dazzled by effort alone. She's moved by authenticity, so he starts lowering his walls. He shares more. He shows real emotion. He tries to connect on a deeper level, and the woman who started with less need ends up receiving more depth. That's the final turn of the reverse sympathy trap. The shift from external validation to internal vulnerability. He's no longer trying to fix her. He's trying to understand her, and understanding is the foundation of emotional intimacy. At first, he thinks he's the chooser. He believes he's the one deciding the pace. But when she doesn't chase, the power quietly flips. Now he's the one texting more. He's the one performing. He's the one trying harder. And she remains calm, present, warm, but not impressed. Not distant either. That balance breaks his logic. Eventually, a dangerous question enters his mind. Am I enough for her? And the moment a man starts asking himself that, the trap is already set. There is something deeply magnetic about a woman who doesn't rush to prove her worth. When she is calm, centered, and unbothered, she projects silent power. She isn't cold. She's composed. And that composure disrupts his instincts. He's used to being the confident one, the grounded one, Now he feels like the one seeking approval. Her stillness becomes a mirror. It reflects his insecurities back at him. So he leans in. He talks more. He tries harder. And the more effort he invests, the more his emotions follow. This is the power projection loop. The less she seeks validation, the more he craves it from her. And finally, there's scarcity. Scarcity creates value in business and in love. When she gives affection sparingly, not as a strategy but as a reflection of her true emotional state, he feels it more deeply. Every message, every smile, every small sign of warmth carries weight. Because her attention isn't overwhelming, it isn't constant, it isn't cheap. Her presence becomes rare. Her energy becomes currency. And men become addicted to what feels earned. The woman who doesn't hand herself over freely turns every moment with her into something meaningful. And once that happens, he's no longer chasing her affection. He's protecting the chance to keep it. And sympathy is a short-term emotion. It fades quickly the moment guilt burns out. It doesn't last. It doesn't deepen. It doesn't root itself in desire. Now flip the dynamic. When a woman appears self-contained, emotionally steady and non-reactive, his brain detects something entirely different. Mystery. He starts asking himself, how is she completely fine without me? And that single question becomes a mental hook. Because men are not addicted to affection, they are addicted to uncertainty. The reverse sympathy trap works because it quietly rewires his instincts. Instead of feeling like her rescuer, he begins to feel like her student. Instead of pity, he feels curiosity. Instead of comfort, he feels challenge. And curiosity is the oxygen of male desire. Every man secretly craves a mission. Not an easy one, not a guaranteed win. A challenge. This is why video games, business, and competition keep men hooked for years. They are built on tension. The space between almost winning and not yet. That tension creates focus. It creates obsession. In relationships, the woman who plays the sympathy card destroys that tension instantly. He already has her attention. He already knows where he stands. There is no game left to play. But the woman who isn't impressed by his jokes, who doesn't rearrange her schedule for him, who smiles, says maybe, and walks away, she creates the challenge loop. He feels a gap, and his ego wants to close it. He starts trying harder, talking more, showing up more. And here's the part most people misunderstand. He calls it chemistry, but it's not chemistry. It's competition disguised as desire. That's why the reverse sympathy trap works like emotional jiu-jitsu. She uses his own masculine programming against him. The harder he works for something that isn't easily given, the deeper he invests. And the deeper he invests, the stronger his emotional attachment becomes. There's another truth men rarely admit. They don't fall in love first. They fall into respect first. A man cannot feel real romantic attachment toward someone he doesn't admire. And admiration is born from distance, not closeness. When a woman's world doesn't revolve around him, when she has direction, standards, and boundaries, he subconsciously labels her as rare. He doesn't think she needs me. He thinks, I need to level up to deserve her. And once again, the reverse sympathy trap activates. She isn't chasing his validation. She forces him to seek hers. Respect comes before love. And love built on respect doesn't fade easily, because now every compliment she gives feels earned. Every moment she shares feels chosen. Men value what they work for, not what is handed to them freely. Then comes the emotional reversal. When he meets a woman who radiates independence, something unfamiliar happens in his subconscious. He feels what women often feel around confident men, a loss of control. He starts chasing emotional balance, trying to regain his sense of power. But here's the catch. The more he tries to impress her, the less powerful he feels. Because she doesn't flinch. She isn't impressed by effort alone. She's impressed by authenticity, so he slowly lowers his guard. He starts showing real emotion. He tries to connect on a deeper level, and the woman who started with less need ends up receiving more depth. This is the final turn of the reverse sympathy trap, the shift from external validation to internal vulnerability. He is no longer trying to fix her. He's trying to understand her, and understanding is the foundation of emotional intimacy.